Welcome everyone. Hang out with me today as I show you how to make a beaded crochet beanie that has no pre-stringing, is beginner friendly, and customizable. You can make this hat in DK, worsted, or chunky weight yarn. There is a link to the written pattern below. If you get the written pattern, I include these beautiful printable gift tags, Crown with Kindness logo on them. That's included with the written pattern, okay? So you will need to work the main, and I'll list all of the materials below. To work the main portion of the pattern, you'll need a size L 8mm hook for this size that we're doing today. You will also need, and for your beads, you'll need a smaller hook, a 1.25mm. All right, that's a smaller hook for placing the beads. For measuring the hat, I use a ruler. It doesn't stretch, and I feel it gives me a more accurate measurement. All right. You can also use a tape measure if you want, and this is also obviously good if you're going to measure the wearer's hat, which I recommend if you can do so. All right. So let's see what the last things we need: scissors, of course, a tapestry needle, 2-stitch markers. This is an optional beading board. It's called a bead on it board that I love and have. It comes in very just different sizes. I'll list where I get it. There's no affiliate links. It's just, I'll tell you where I get it. And then last but certainly not least are beads. I need 9 beads for my project, and I'll tell you why in a second. Because so first of all, let me tell you the size. These are 10mm beads, smiley face beads in matte silver, and they are 6mm thick, and they have a 2mm hole to be able to draw that bulky weight yarn through. Now I need 9 of these beads because I am going to increase my hat crown and my total hat stitches to 54 stitches, and I'm going to need to divide that total by 6, and I get 9. 54 divided by 6 is 9. So the amount of beads that you need is the total amount of stitches after all increases divided by 6. Okay, in my case, like I said, 9. You can use other types of beads. Remember that. This is your hat. You customize it accordingly. I have the hat sizing table in front of me, and I am going to be making an adult medium today, which is about an average size. It fits head circumferences between 21 and 22 inches, and here are the centimeters for that. When you're measuring the wearer's head, which I highly recommend if they're available, then you would take the tape measure, put it around their head snugly but not too tight, just above the ears, and measure the fullest circumference. So you lay it across the forehead, put it around the entire circumference just above the ears, okay? And that's how you would get the measurement. If your measurement falls outside of a range, say it's 22.5, then you go to the next range, all right? Just for a reference, if you're making a different size than the one we are today. Okay, so for today's crown, we're going to increase our crown until to between 7 to 7.25 inches. There's the centimeters, and that's we'll lay it flat and measure it at that point. I'll show you that. And then the entire hat height, we're going for between 8.75 to 9 inches. There's the centimeters, and at that point you would lay your hat flat and then measure from the tip all the way down. So yeah, we're working this hat from the top down, which is excellent because you can have the wearer, if available again, try the hat on. If you have a technique for the magic ring that works for you, then you do that, okay? Some people may, for the top down hats, work the initial stitches into chain stitches. That you can do that as well, but here's what I do. So here's my tail. I'm only leaving about 4 inches for it. It's going off to the right, and that's where I hold my hook. And then the working strand is going off to the left, and that's where I tension with my left hand. So no slip knot needed. Let's go ahead and take that working strand and just lay it in front of, let me leave a little bit more, lay it in front of that tail just like that. Do you see? And hold that open. It forms our little ring. Take your crochet hook and insert it into that ring, yarn over, drop a loop, and then chain 1. This is the only chain you will do in this pattern, and it does not count towards the stitch total. From there, let's work our initial 6 single crochet into this ring, working over these strands. So let's start with 1, 6 single crochet into the ring. Okay, I'm at 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oops. 6. Okay, so we've got our 6 single crochet. Go ahead and tug on that ring till it's just about closed. We can close it all the way in the next round. This is your first single crochet here. Don't mistake this part. That's the chain. That's your first stitch. So let's do the invisible join. That's going to bring the first and second stitches right next to each other. You'll do this join for every single round with the exception of the final round of the hat. So here's the right side of the hat or the outside of the hat. Take the loop off the main hook, turn that around, making sure you're working yarn and tail. Don't cross to the front like this. They stay to the wrong side of the hat, which is inside. Go ahead and locate that first stitch, not this with the little V's, okay, and insert your hook into that first stitch just like that. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. There we go. And then put that loop back onto the hook and just draw it through that stitch, okay? Turn it back around to the right side and tug, and you can see last stitch, first stitch right next to each other. Let's start doing our increases. So we're joined in around and ready to start increasing. I'm going to put my stitch marker in my last stitch just like that, just so I can keep track of it. And the first stitch after I work it for this round, I'll put the marker in that one as well, and just move your markers as you go up. So no need to chain, just go right into that first stitch. We're going to do increases into every stitch, and an increase is simply 2 single crochet into a stitch. Okay, that's what an increase is for this pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to increase into the first stitch, putting 2 single crochet into that first stitch, just like that. I'm going to put my marker there so I can mark my first single crochet for the round. All right, and then second stitch is the same thing, increase 2 stitches into that next stitch and 2 stitches into that third stitch. Keep doing that until you get to the end. You should end up with 12 stitches. So I've increased in every stitch for that first round of our increase rounds. And I'm going to just double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then here's 12. And I put my stitch marker in that last stitch. So now I can pull, I'm going to pull that hole closed in from my magic ring. Right there, it's closed. And now once again, you do that invisible join. I'll show it to you one more time just so you can get a feel for it. Take the loop off, turn it around, and then you can take this stitch marker out for now. This is the first stitch around. Insert the hook into that stitch just like that. Put the loop back on the hook and then just draw it through. You want to draw it through untwisted, okay? And then turn it back around. Last and first stitch are right next to each other. You're ready for the second increase round. So here we go. We're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 single crochet. Okay, you can place that stitch marker back into that first stitch if you want. And then increase in the next stitch. That's 2 into the next stitch, right? 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Increase into the next stitch. 1 single crochet in the next stitch and then increase. Finish doing that for this round. You will end up with 18 stitches because each round we're increasing by adding 6 more stitches. So finish the round and then we'll go to, and if you're familiar with making a hat, you're familiar with this, what we're doing right here. But if you're not, I want to show it to you. I'm at my third increase round. I've done my invisible join, and I'm going to now single crochet into the next 2 single crochet. Okay, so single crochet, single crochet. I'm going to put my stitch marker. And then, you know what, to be honest, the invisible join makes it easy to see the beginning and ending of rounds. But if you're new to the technique of what I'm doing, working in a round, you may want to just use the stitch markers. You don't have to. So single crochet into the next 2 single crochet and then increase. All right, and you're seeing a pattern here, right? Like I said, if you're already familiar with making a hat, then you know what to do. Single crochet into the next 2 single crochet and then increase into that third stitch right there. Okay, single crochet into the next 2 single crochet and do your increase. All right, so that's the pattern, and I'm going to increase until I get to 54 stitches for me, and that is going to the hat crown at that point is going to measure between 7 and 7 1/4 inches. All right, and that's what I'm aiming for. that in between that range. So I'm going to keep increasing. The next round would be single crochet into the next 3 and then increase. The round after that would be single crochet into the next 4 stitches and increase. And then after that, the next 5 stitches and increase. You get the idea. So go ahead and keep increasing until the hat crown gets to between, when measured from corner to corner, between 7 and 7¼ inches. And then we'll talk about what to do next. I am finished with my hat crown. So that means I'm also finished with increasing. I'm done with increasing for this hat. From now on, we will work the hat evenly without increases, which means that you will only work 1 stitch per each stitch. Now, to show you what my last increase round looked like, I actually increased to 54 stitches, as I said I would. And that means my last increase round was single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then increase into the next stitch. And that means that's 8 and 9. Okay. And I did that 6 times, 1 for each side. 6 times 9 is 54. So that's how I come to my total. And let's do a quick measurement. You're going to take your ruler or your tape measure, and you're going to lay it across the crown from one corner, doesn't matter which corner it is, and across the middle of the crown to the opposite corner. In this case, I'm at around 7 1/8. Here's 7 1/4, here's 7. So I am right in that, within that range that I should be. It is time to work the hat body, and that's where we get to sit back and relax and work the hat evenly without increases. So that means we're going to single crochet in every single crochet of the round and then do that invisible join. We're going to continue to repeat the rounds in that manner with no increases until the hat measures between 6.75 and 7 inches. And there's the centimeters for that. So once again, we're working the hat from the top down, right? We've already done the crown with the increases. We're not going to increase. So we're doing this portion right here just before we get to the beads. This is the hat body. Then we'll come back. We'll add beads. We'll measure. We'll add beads, and then we'll finish off with the brim. Again, this is a good time to have the wearer try the hat on if available to see how the fit is going. And also, as a side point, if you want to make your hat a little bit more slouchy, you can add 1 inch or 2 to this measurement right here. But I'm going to stick with this for now. I'm making this for a specific person, and so this is where I'm going to be working between. Here I am measuring the current hat height, and it's at 7 inches. That's perfect. It is time for us to add our beads to our hat, some more happiness in there. So I've got my 9 smiley face beads. I've got my bead hook. I've already done my invisible join for the last round. So we're going to add a bead on every 6 single crochet. Okay, and that's called a beaded single crochet. So here's what we do. A single crochet into the next 5 stitches, and then at 6 stitches where we add the bead. So let's go ahead. Let's count 1. And I will link the video where I exclusively talk about adding beads to crochet for you as a reference. Okay. And that way you'll have that in your crochet toolbox. All right. That's 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now on the next stitch, insert the main hook into the stitch, yarn over, drop a loop. You're going to immediately take that loop off of the main hook and then lay the main hook aside just like that with the other loop still on the hook. Okay. Grab your bead hook and place a smiley face onto that bead hook. Just like that, right side up facing you. Otherwise, when you put the hat on, the smiley face will be upside down. And if that's what you want, that's fine. But we're going to do it right side up. So insert that hook with the bead on it into the loop that's off the main hook. And then carefully draw that loop through the bead just like that. Place that loop back onto the main hook. You can put your bead hook aside for a minute. And then you got 2 loops on the main hook, yarn over, draw through the 2 loops. That's a beaded single crochet. Very, very easy to do. Let's do that again. 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. Much more easier than pre-stringing everything because you can change your mind if you want to. And you don't have to, take everything out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next stitch is 6. So let's go ahead and insert, yarn over, drop a loop, take the loop off the hook, hook up that bead hook, and place the bead on, and then go ahead and draw through. Draw the loop through the hole, just like that, and put your bead hook aside, put that loop back on the main hook, yarn over, draw through the 2 loops. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around until you add all 9 beads, then do your invisible join, and then after that we're going to go straight into the hat brim. All right, and the process is the same with any beads. Okay, doesn't matter if they're smiley face or not, you're going to add the bead exactly the same way. And I'm going to take my new color, which is the teal, and take a strand of the teal, just like this. I'm going to leave about a 6-inch tail, and I'm going to take it and simply drape it over the main hook like this, and then draw it through the loop on the hook. That's the old color. We now have a new color, a new loop in the new color. Now take the old color strand and tug on it just like that until it goes away, pretty much. And now we have that new loop only. All right, and we may have to tug that a little bit more. So here's what the brim round looks like. First stitch, single crochet, last stitch, single crochet. All right, so let's do a single crochet into that first stitch, and then from here every other stitch except for the last stitch is going to be a single crochet into the back loop only. So here's the front loop, here's the back loop. We're going to single crochet into the back loop only for all of the stitches except for the first and the last. So continue to do that. Okay, this is just in case you've never done this before. Let me meet you back at the end of the round at the last stitch, and then I'll once again show you the invisible join. I'm at the last stitch of the round right here. I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and that is a single crochet, right? So I did my single crochet into the first stitch. I did single crochet into the back loop, and you can see it makes a nice textured pattern right there for the brim. And now I'm at the last stitch. That's also a single crochet. Okay. And then you would do your invisible join. So I'll do that very quickly. Take it off the hook. Insert the hook through, put the loop back on, and tighten. Now, you will continue. What did I do with my loop? It just disappeared. Oh, and so you can see, look, it actually changes from this colorway and it goes right into the teal, okay, without any interruption. You can't see the loop is, the original loop is way back here and it's hidden. So that's a nice technique, like I said. So continue to do these rounds until you reach your total hat height. I think mine was 9 1/4. Is that right? Let me take a look. I don't. No, 9, not 9 1/4. 8 3/4 to 9 inches. Yes, that's what I'm going to go closer to 9 inches. Okay. So keep working it. And then that last round, do not invisible join on that last round. And don't go anywhere. Let me show you how we finish this off. I finished my last round for the brim. It took me 4 rounds to get to the 9 inches, just for reference. And I'm going to take this loop off. I'm going to join the first and the last stitch, but not with the invisible join. I'm going to join it with my tapestry needle. So here's my final loop right here. I'm going to pull that through, just like that. Okay, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a nice even, what's the word for it, neat join. I'm going to essentially duplicate this stitch right here. All right, so I pulled my loop through. I'm going to thread it onto my tapestry needle, just like that. And I'm going to, so here I am right here, okay, with my strand coming out of this stitch right here. I am going to insert my needle underneath, not the first, but the second stitch in the round, just like that, from the from right to left. Okay, I think that's right to left, right? From the wrong side to the right side. All right, so here we go. Underneath those 2 top loops, just like that. All right, and now let me take the stitch marker because it's out, because it's in the way. So see, here's the first stitch. I'm going to make sure these strands go over that first stitch just like that to cover it. Do you see it? Okay, now here's that last stitch right here. Go down between the top loops of that last stitch, between, and bring your needle to the wrong side of the hat. So here's the little V with the back loop, front loop. Go between those loops right there to the wrong side. Pull through. All right, and now look at that. So from there, you'll end up with your yarn in the inside of your hat, and you just weave in your ends. And so what I like to do is I just like to go underneath these legs just like that and draw the yarn underneath them. And then I'll go in the opposite direction. Okay. And I'll keep doing that until, you know, a couple of times, 3 or 4 times, until I'm satisfied with how everything is. This is acrylic yarn and it pretty much stays, so I don't have to add knots. If you're using cotton or, you know, other plant-based fibers, linen, bamboo, they will need knots. And so go ahead and tie them to the work. I sometimes split the strand and tie them there, okay? So yeah, I'll keep going, but I'll go one more time and then I'll cut my yarn. And then you just weave in all the other tails. After that, block your hat. You can use, I use a head form for blocking, but you can use whatever you like. Okay, you can use a mat, you can use, some people use a balloon, or, you know, whatever technique you like to block your hat, just to get the stitches even. All right, you're not really hard blocking, you're just doing light blocking on the hat. And that's it. Enjoy the project. Let me know how you like it. Let me know if you have questions.